Well, you want me to get her fighting for it?
Is the source,
Yeah.
the moral source of America's authority.
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, you hold it. You hold your
Since the
bottle.
days of Franklin Roosevelt, in the service and sacrifice of our grandparents and great-grandparents, our country has borne a special burden in global affairs. We have spilled American blood in many countries on multiple continents. We have spent our revenue to help others rebuild from rubble and develop their own economies. We have joined with others to develop an architecture of institutions from the United Nations to NATO to the World Bank that provide for the common security of
Hold it up, Lauren.
beings.
Hold it up.
We have not always been thanked for these efforts, and we have at times made mistakes. But more than any other nation, the United States of America has underwritten global security for over 6 decades. A time that, for all its problems, has seen walls come down and markets open and billions lifted from poverty, unparalleled scientific progress and advancing frontiers of human liberty. For unlike the great powers of old, we have not sought world domination. Our union was founded in resistance to oppression. We do not seek to occupy other nations. We will not claim another nation's resources or target other peoples because their faith or ethnicity is different from ours.
Hold it.
What we have fought for, what we continue to fight for, is a better future for our children
back.
and grandchildren.
That's
we
it.
believe that their lives will be better if others' peoples, children and grandchildren, can live in freedom and access opportunity. As a country, we're not as young, and perhaps not as innocent, as we were when Roosevelt was president. Yet we are still heirs to a noble struggle for freedom. And now we must summon all of our might and moral suasion to meet the challenges of a new age. In the end, our security and leadership does not come solely from the strength of our arms. It derives from our people, from the workers and businesses who will rebuild our economy, from the entrepreneurs and researchers who will pioneer new industries, from the teachers that will educate our children, and the service of those who work in our communities at home, from the diplomats and Peace Corps volunteers who spread hope abroad, and from the men and women in uniform who are part of an unbroken line of sacrifice that has made government of the people, by the people, and for the people a reality on this earth. This vast and diverse citizenry will not always agree on every issue, nor should we. But I also know that we as a country cannot sustain our leadership.
What's wrong, Lauren?
Nor navigate the
What's wrong?
challenges of our time.
Lauren, is this the bottle? Is this it?
Cynicism and partisanship
Hold it.
sometimes poison our national discourse.
Pick it up.
It's easy to forget that when this war began, we were united, bound together by the fresh memory of
Lauren,
a horrific attack.
hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it.
I refuse to accept the notion that we cannot summon that unity again.
Sit back, Lauren. Sit back.
I believe with every fiber of my being that we, as Americans, can still come together behind a common purpose. For our values are not simply words written into parchment. They are a creed that calls us together, and that has carried us through the darkest of storms as one nation, as one people. America, we are passing through a time of great trial. And the message that we send in the midst of these storms must be clear. That our cause is just, our resolve unwavering. We will go forward with the confidence that right makes might, and with a commitment to forge an America that is safer, a world that is more secure, and a future that represents the deepest of fears, but the highest of hopes. Thank you.
Speaking to an audience of cadets, many of whom will leave West Point as fresh second lieutenants on their way to Afghanistan as part of what the president announced tonight. He said the war in Afghanistan is lost, but it has moved backwards. He described a weighty and long-time decision, but also said it was his duty and responsibility to do what he did tonight. In effect, ordering 30,000 Americans, maybe more, over time. A kind of surge, as it's being called by one defense official tonight. Let's get some quick reaction to this. Arizona Republican Senator John McCain, one of this nation's best-known living veterans, standard bearer for the GOP last time around. Senator McCain, a lot of Democrats hoping that at the end of this process, the president would go the other way. Will you support what you heard tonight?
The president made the right decision to embrace a counterinsurgency strategy that's properly resourced. I believe the 30,000 troops plus additional troops from our NATO allies
all gone.
are really sufficient to get the job done. And I believe
All gone.
Democrats should support this strategy. What I don't
Empty.
do not agree with is an arbitrary date for withdrawal. That's not a success. Success is what causes withdrawals, not setting the arbitrary date.
Empty.
It emboldens our enemies and dispirits our allies. So I believe that we need to clear that up, because you're either going to set an arbitrary date or it's going to be based on conditions on the ground. The only recipe for success in countering an insurgency is a
Empty.
and then you can withdraw.
Well, let me ask
No
you,
more.
is this country, which of course couldn't be
No
less
more.
than the United States, where heroin is the cash crop, you're going to be conducting a counterinsurgency.
No more.
Ideally, you say to the local folks,
Empty.
Taliban, turn instead to your government. You're held by a weak government with legitimacy
Empty.
issues. Doesn't that remain a central problem here?
Empty, Lauren.
Troops.
Empty. No more.
Any counterinsurgency is
All gone. Empty. Empty.
the situation
All gone.
because we
Woo. Empty.
almost in
Yes.
troops to establish security.
Ew. Empty.
All the other aspects of
Yes.
the process can move forward.
Empty. No more.
The civil
All gone.
divisions
All gone.
in Kabul. What I'm
All gone.
sending the wrong signal.
Empty.
We are still leaving on an arbitrary
Empty.
rather than it being based on conditions on
No more.
set an arbitrary date for withdrawal from our
No more, Lauren.
in the objective of the
No more.
which is the Iraqi troops taking over from Americans.
Lauren, empty.
From Americans, and then we will be able to
No more.
successful counterinsurgency strategy.
No more, Lauren.
John McCain joining us from the Russell Senate Office Building in
Empty.
Washington tonight. Senator, thank you for your time. Always a pleasure.
Empty.
Thank you. I do support it.
All right, John McCain voicing not once but twice his support for this. Also watching along with us, moderator of Meet the Press, David Gregory, is in our Washington newsroom. And here in our New York City,
Empty.
Haas, president of the
No more.
Relations. Richard, I'll start with you.
No more.
This policy as a whole, you've asked a lot of questions about this conflict.
What the president tried to do tonight, Brian, is perhaps the hardest thing any American president ever sets out to
No more.
do, to rally the American people behind essentially a war of choice.
Empty.
There's options. He said it's going to be tough. He's essentially arguing we need to do more for 18 months so that over time we can do less. It's not clear, though, it's going to work. Obviously, one of the things he doesn't address is what happens if after 18 months the Afghans aren't ready to take the baton and maintain the security of their own country. That's an impossible question to ask. So what he's trying to do...
You feel good, Lauren?
Needle, if you will, or split the difference.
Cutie, cutie, cutie.
Senator McCain, who wanted to give him
Cutie, cutie, cutie.
of counterinsurgency, and those on his political left who want him to put a real ceiling on what the United States is going to do and how long it's going to do it. But there's no way of knowing now what the reality in Afghanistan will be in 18 months or 2 years.
And David Gregory, you see what's playing out here. The president feels the need to
Lauren.
Americans who are split, give or take,
Pokey Poo.
almost 50-50 on this
Pokey
conflict.
Poo.
Will be out or will start coming out by X date, and that part is precisely what Senator Shea and others disagree with.
Pokey Poo.
Look, America's not going to do it forever. We've been doing this for 8 years, going to 9 years, however important it is. We're not going to be there forever. Just to underline what Richard
Pokey Poo.
this was a telling line from the speech.